Ever get that feeling where you just want to dive deep into something really interesting, without having to read like a million articles or anything?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, you want the shortcut to the good stuff.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're taking a deep dive into a true crime case, the murder of Emily Dawson.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of this one.
It was a big deal, huge trial, small town. Everyone thought they knew what happened. Seemed pretty straightforward.
So what's the twist then?
Well, that's what we're going to find out using Uncovering Hidden Evidence, the case that changed everything, as our guide.
Sounds juicy, I'm in.
This book really digs into how stuff that gets overlooked or hidden can completely change how we understand a crime, and even justice itself.
Right, like sometimes the most important clues are the ones nobody even notices at first.
Totally. So let's set the scene. The Emily Dawson case hits the news, and bam, instant story suspect trial, seems like justice is served, case closed.
But then, uncovering hidden evidence drops this bombshell.
Right, like a total plot twist.
Imagine this, a forensic analyst. The folks who analyze evidence well after the trial's over, they decide to take another look at the case files.
Uh-oh, sounds like trouble.
And guess what? They find something crucial that everyone totally missed during the original investigation and the trial.
No way. What was it?
Hold on, we'll get there, but just think about it. This one missed detail had the potential to rewrite the entire story of the Emily Dawson case.
That's insane. It really makes you wonder what else we miss when we think we have all the answers.
Right. It's like those magic eye pictures. You got to look deeper to see the full picture.
So who are the heroes in this story, the people who brought this hidden evidence to light?
Well, first up, we've got Sarah Mitchell, an investigative journalist who was like a dog with a bone.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about her. She wouldn't let go of this case.
She just knew there was more to the story than what everyone was saying. She dug into the details, found new facts, and published her findings, challenging the official version of what happened.
That's gotta take guts to go up against the establishment like that.
Seriously. It highlights how important independent investigation is, questioning everything, double-checking the facts.
It makes you wonder how many times we just accept the first explanation we hear without digging a little deeper.
All the time, right. We should all be a little more like Sarah Mitchell.
Agreed. So besides Sarah Mitchell, who else was instrumental in uncovering the truth?
Well, there was also Dr. James Carter, a forensic expert who revisited the evidence with fresh eyes. And you know what else?
What?
He had access to new technology stuff that wasn't around during the original investigation.
So, even though the evidence was the same, it could tell a different story with the right tools.
Exactly. And that's a key takeaway here. Forensic science is always evolving. What was considered cutting edge even a few years ago might be outdated now.
That's a bit scary, actually, how many cases could be affected by outdated methods.
It's a real concern, actually. The book mentions that over 10% of wrongful convictions involved outdated forensic technique.
10%. That's huge. Makes you wonder if the Emily Dawson case could have been one of those.
It's definitely possible, which is why it's crucial to constantly update and improve forensic practices to minimize the chance of errors,
Absolutely. So we've got this determined journalist, a forensic expert with new technology. What else is there to this story?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. There was this tiny little detail that almost got overlooked, but it ended up being a game changer.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What was it?
A vintage wristwatch found at the crime scene.
A watch.
Really?
You'd think that would be pretty low on the list of important clues.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
It probably seemed irrelevant at first, maybe belonged to a neighbor or first responder, or even Emily herself.
But it wasn't.
Nope. Turned out this seemingly insignificant little watch was the key to figuring out the actual timeline of events surrounding the murder.
Wow. So it's don't judge a book by its cover or a clue by its size?
Exactly. And that's our first big takeaway for our listeners. Never underestimate the power of overlooked evidence. Even the tiniest detail can crack a case wide open.
It's like those detective shows where a speck of dust solves the whole mystery.
Exactly. So pay attention to the little things, folks. You never know what might be important.
Speaking of important things, what other insights does Uncovering Hidden Evidence offer us?
Well, for starters, stay informed about advances in forensic science, like we saw with Dr. Carter and his new technology. Those breakthroughs can totally change how we look at old evidence.
Right, so it's not just about the evidence itself, but also the tools and techniques we use to analyze it.
Precisely. The field is always evolving, and staying updated is crucial, especially if you're into true crime, like our listeners are.
Absolutely. And here's another tip I love question. The narrative, don't just take the first story you hear as the absolute truth.
Right. Like we were saying before, be a little skeptical, dig deeper, look for inconsistencies, consider alternative explanations.
It's about being curious and thinking critically right.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and look for those hidden pieces of the puzzle.
Love it. What else?
Well, the book also emphasizes following the money financial motives are often a huge factor in criminal cases.
Oh, yeah, like those cases where it seems like a random crime, but then it turns out to be about insurance fraud or something.
Exactly. Money can be a powerful motivator, and understanding the financial side of things can help us understand why a crime was committed.
It's a good reminder that there's often more to the story than meets the eye.
Absolutely. Now, here's a practical tip. Document everything meticulously, whether you're investigating a real crime or just trying to understand a complex situation. Keeping detailed notes and records is crucial.
It's like when you lose something and you have to retrace your steps. Having a record of where you've been and what you've done can be a lifesaver.
Exactly. And in a criminal investigation, those notes can help you connect the dots, identify patterns, and spot inconsistencies that you might otherwise miss.
Makes sense. So we've got the basics down, but what about some more unconventional approaches to investigations? Uncovering hidden evidence mentions a few outside-the-box ideas.
Oh yeah, they're pretty fascinating. One suggestion is to tap into the power of open source investigation communities.
Yeah.
Online platforms where people from all walks of life collaborate and share information on specific cases.
That's so cool, like a global brain trust dedicated to solving mysteries.
Right. It's all about harnessing collective intelligence to uncover clues and insights that traditional investigations might miss.
I bet there have been some amazing cases cracked thanks to these online communities.
Oh, absolutely. There have been some incredible examples of crowdsourced investigations leading to breakthroughs.
That's awesome. What's another one of these out-of-the-box approaches?
Well, there's also the idea of exploring psychological profiling more deeply, analyzing the evidence and understanding the mindset of the individuals involved.
So, like getting inside the head of the perpetrator.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
By understanding their behavioral patterns, motivations, and potential triggers, investigators might be able to uncover hidden clues or predict their next move.
That's pretty intense, though, right? Like, are there ethical concerns with trying to delve into someone's psyche like that?
Definitely, it's a delicate balance. You have to
Yeah.
weigh the potential benefits against the ethical implications.
Makes sense. So it's not just about hard evidence anymore. It's also about understanding the human element of the crime.
Exactly. And it's a powerful tool when used responsibly.
So bringing it all back to the Emily Dawson case, what's the biggest takeaway from uncovering hidden evidence?
I think the most important lesson is that justice isn't just about closing a case or getting a conviction. It's about constantly striving to make sure every piece of the puzzle is found, examined, and put in its rightful place.
So even if a case seems solved, there's always the possibility that new evidence could come to light and change everything.
Absolutely. And we should always be open to that possibility.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Emily Dawson case and the incredible impact of overlooked evidence, it's clear that seeking justice is an ongoing process, not a one-time event.
It requires diligence, a willingness to challenge our assumptions, and an openness to new information, even if it means revisiting old conclusions.
And with advances in technology and investigative techniques, who knows what other hidden truths we'll be able to uncover in the future?
It's an exciting and constantly evolving field, and it makes you wonder what other hidden evidence might be out there waiting to be discovered, not just in criminal cases, but in all areas of life.
That's a great point. Like, what about historical events or scientific discoveries or even our personal relationships? Are there hidden details that could completely change our understanding?
It's definitely something to think about, and it highlights the importance of staying curious, questioning everything, and always being willing to dig a little deeper.
Couldn't agree more. And if you're as fascinated by true crime as we are, be sure to check out our True Crime Tales playlist on YouTube for more deep dives into captivating cases.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of the Emily Dawson case and the power of hidden evidence.
And until our next deep dive, keep those minds sharp and never stop questioning the world around you.
See you next time.
Bye.